So I'm here with Gary Doolan from BASC, and we are talking through the new 2024 Value of Shooting report, which has recently come out. So Gary, can you tell us a bit about why this report is different to any others in previous years?
Yeah, so this report is an update of a report we did in 2014, which in itself was an update of a report. I think we did it in 2006. This time round, it's BASC just one of 24 organisations involved in it. And we've tried to go much deeper into the figures to give a much broader representation of shooting's value to the economy, to conservation, to land use, to well-being and all those things. So we've gone deeper than we've ever gone before. So, for example, we know the benefits of a shoot to the local community, but in terms of getting the figures that let us tell that story, we're now looking at how many people take the car to the local garage to be fixed, where the dogs go to the vets, how much dog food they buy, whether they need a new pair of wellies every year. All those things they wouldn't happen probably if it wasn't for shooting.
Yeah.
So it's right that shooting gets that recognition. Mm-hmm. So we've gone much deper, and that gives us some of these values like the 3.3 billion and the sort of the jobs values and the conservation values. So we think it's a much healthier figure for shooting. It's a much more relevant figure for shooting.
Yeah. And would you say that's why it's so important to know these figures, so that there's an awareness around that importance of shooting for everything that we're doing in the countryside, and how it impacts such a much wider audience than just those who are shooting?
Yeah, I think it's critical that each of us, not just the organisations and those directly involved in shooting, but sort of each of us with a passion for shooting knows those figures. And even if you don't know the figures off the top of your head, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But at the game fair, go to the stands, get the leaflets. We've got these things. We spent a lot of money doing that. Go to the website, because these are the figures that can influence decision makers.
Yeah.
These are the figures that we put in front of politicians and decision makers, and we'll be using these figures for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
They have a really long shelf life. But people need to be pushing them as well. So push them on social media. If you see the organisations talking about the value of shooting, share the content, push the content, and the good tools to have in the toolbox to sort of counter some of those criticisms that we get of shooting. Yeah. The figures are healthy. The figures are good. It puts us in the same ballpark as things like golf and football, etc.
Yeah.
And then when we look at the land that we manage for shooting, it's really, really impressive.
Yeah.
And we should shout about those figures.
Yeah, 100%. So in terms of getting that message out there, people who are in the shooting community, what can they do at an individual level? I know you mentioned social media. What's the way that they can go about promoting these figures and the importance of shooting?
Yeah, so I think if you're at the game fair this weekend, I'd be saying, look, go to the stands, go and get the leaflets, go and get the business cards, get the goodie bags with all the value of shoot, because the figures are there, and that's an easy thing to do. If you see things on social media, for example, that you think are wrong, go to the website, get the facts and figures, and counter it with the facts and figures. When you're talking to people who perhaps are non-shooting people, just have in the back of your mind, the figures around how much of the landscape is managed for shooting, how much we spend on shooting, how important shooting is, not just to that rural community, but to the overall community. How shooting impacts people's well-being, the health figures around shooting. They're all good figures, and people should have it in the back of their mind that they're going to deploy them, and use them as a conversation starter. It's difficult sometimes, isn't it, to say what shooting's about, and we get that. But the figures are a good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. And they send a positive message, don't they? When you look at your figures, such as 3 in 4 people that are taking part in shooting report positive mental benefits. That's something perhaps not many people would associate with shooting. They might think of it more as a sport. But actually, when you look at figures like that, it can have such a wide-ranging impact, can't it?
Yeah, it can. And it's really difficult to quantify that. And it's taken an awful lot of work, because we go on a shoot, whether you're beating, picking up, shooting, whatever your role is, and we all come away and we all say we've had a good day.
Yeah.
Right? That's a given.
Yeah.
But quantify had a good day.
Yes, exactly.
And hopefully the 3 out of 4 figures is some way to quantify had a good day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been with friends, been with acquaintances, worked the dogs, all gives you this enjoyment factor, because you wouldn't go back, would you?
Yeah.
So you must enjoy it,
Yeah.
quantify it, and that's how we, because this world, it's a data driven world.
Yeah.
This is data.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an objective way of looking at quite a subjective topic, really, isn't it? And if you could wrap it up, the report and the findings, everything you've had in terms of feedback, what would be your key message from it?
I think the key message is probably loosely where we got to with the adverts we did a couple of weeks ago, which were in the Metro newspaper, and the hashtag is something like "shooting adds up to more" or "shooting's worth so much more," and it is just that. It's the hidden benefits of shooting. We're trying to expose those now, so they're no longer hidden benefits, and that's the point. That's the argument we've used for many years, saying, well, people just don't get what shooting is. They don't understand all the good we do. This is a report that lets you explain to people all the good we do.